everyone, welcome back to Document Understanding series powered by AI Accelerator podcast. So far in the series, we've spoken everything about document understanding, from creating projects to publishing models and more. If you have missed any episodes, I have put a link in the caption. Kindly watch them. In today's episode, we have Siva Krishna Thumma. He's the senior lead at Accelerate. Hi Siva, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Nisarga. Excited to be here to talk all the things about document understanding.
Glad to know. So, Siva, as you know, in our previous episode, we've spoken a lot about DU, but all of them have been on and around Document Understanding Cloud. So, it would be great if we start today's episode with a walkthrough to DU framework on Studio.
Document understanding or DU is a toolkit inside the UiPath Studio that lets you automate the document processing. Instead of starting from the scratch, UiPath offers a ready-made project template filled with all the best practices for processing the purchase order, invoices, receipts, and so on. So in this, we can have a key pieces. So in the taxonomy manager, basically we need to define the document types that you wanted to process and the fields information that you wanted to extract. So here I have added invoice. So under that, add whatever the fields information you wanted to extract. So I am creating one more field, grand total, and then we can choose the data type for that and then click on save. So whatever the information that we are added in the taxonomy, so in the further processes like classification and extraction, based on the taxonomy, the process will be proceeded, like classifying the invoice type and the extracting the fields information. Digitization. So basically, is used to extract the document information. So for the digitization, we will going to use the OCR. In case for the fields extraction, if you are using the machine learning model, it is recommended to use the same OCR that is being used for the model creation. Next activity would be the classification. It is used to classify the document type.
Okay, that's a really handy template, especially for someone who's just starting out with DU. Now, when it comes to classification, we actually have multiple kinds of classifiers, be it keyword-based classifier or intelligent keyword-based classifier, machine learning classifier, and also document understanding classifier, which is very specific for modern projects.
In the document understanding, we can have a multiple classifiers are available, right? So here we can have a keyword-based classifier. So basically, this classifier will identify the document based on the keywords. So let me take a keyword-based classifier. So first we need to create a JSON file for this, and then we need to click on manage learning. So here we can find whatever all the document types that we have mentioned in the taxonomy. Then we can mention the keywords that we wanted to identify in the document text. So based on these keywords, the document will be classified. And another classifier is intelligent keyword classifier. So it is a bit smarter. Instead of just keywords, it analyzes the word pattern, right? So for this, we need to train the document. So let me show you how we can do that. So here I'm using the intelligent keyword classifier. So here also we need to create a JSON file to store the word vectors. Then we can click on the manage learning. So we can see the all the document types that we have configured in the taxonomy. Then we can click on start training. So here we can upload the document for this document type, and then you can start training. The word vectors will be generated. In case in your other process, so in case in your organization already, if we have this JSON file for this document type, we can upload the document for this invoice. Then we can click on start training. Then the word vector will be generated. So based on this word vector, the document will be classified.
Okay, that's amazing. Especially for keyword-based classifiers, uh, we don't have to actually train the models or classifiers by ourselves. Uh, we can just use the word vectors or the JSON file which has already been created if that suits our project, right? We don't have to spend extra time on classification training.
Yes, that is correct. If you have already existing JSON file is available for this document, we can use in your project. Yes.
Very well.
So another classifier is machine learning classifier. It takes these things even further. So it uses a trained model ready out of the box from the AI Center document classifier package. So it can identify the document type even if the wording and layout is not consistent, right? So for this, first we need to create a model in the AI Center. Then we can use the ML model classifier. So along with, we can have a generative classifier based on the prompt. We can identify the document type, right? And also we can have a document understanding project classifier. For this, we need to create a model in the document understanding portal. After completion of the classification, we need to verify the classify confidence. In case the confidence is low, we need to send the invoice for the manual review in the action center. Then we will go into review the document. Then we can submit or reject. Then the next step would be extraction. So for extraction also we can have a multiple extractors are available like regex based extractor, machine learning extractor, document understanding project extractor, generative extractor. For the regex based extractor, so we need to click on configure expression, and for each field we can add the regular expression based on the input field pattern, right? For the machine learning extractor, first we need to create a model in the AI Center, then we can use the model. For the document understanding project extractor, so we need to create a model in the document understanding portal. And for the generative extractor, simply we can add a prompt, right? So here we can add a prompt to extract the invoice number, then we can extract the fields information. So here, the both classification and extraction, we can use a single extractor or multiple extractor. The same way, we can use the single classifier or multiple classifiers we can use.
Okay, that's very thorough. Now, whenever we use a classifier or extractor, we get a confidence score suggesting how good or how accurate the uh, extraction or classification is, right? Now, when we use multiple classifiers or multiple extractors, we will get multiple confidence score. Would that not create a problem?
Not really. So the UiPath process the classification or extraction in order. So let's say here in the classification, I have used keyword based and intelligent keyword, right? So here we need to set the minimum confidence, like I'm going to set 70 and 80, right? So the UiPath first execute the keyword-based classifier. If the confidence is below 60%, then only it will go to the intelligent keyword classifier. So if the keyword-based classifier is above 70, then it will not execute the intelligent keyword classifier, right? So, so based on the order and the minimum confidence, the execution will be happen.
Okay, that's very helpful here.
Yeah. After extracting the fields information, we need to verify the actual confidence with the expected confidence. And also we need to do some kind of calculations like quantity into unit price equal to line item total and all the line item total equal to grand total. So the kind of calculations we need to verify. So if the confidence is low or the calculations are not matched, then we need to send the invoice for the manual validation. So there we will going to verify the invoice and the extracted information. Then we will going to select the correct information and then we will going to submit. In case the invoice is not relevant, then we can reject the invoice. Then the next step would be retain. In case for the fields extraction or the classification, if you are using the machine learning model, so after completion of the manual validation, right? So if you are using the machine learning model, right? So we need to retrain the document. So here we can use the machine learning model. So as per the manual validation, so those documents will be retrained for the model. The next step would be export. So we will going to extract the document information in the structured format, and the final one would be the exception handling if anything unexpected.
Okay, that's very simple and easy enough to understand. Now, regardless of how well we train the model or build the project, there are times when we still run into cases where documents get routed to Action Center, right, for human review. Now, can you explain why exactly that happened and how we can handle these kind of situations?
Definitely. So the documents are sent to the manual validation whenever something needs to be reviewed, right? So let's talk about like why the documents are sent to the manual validation. Yeah. So the first point is poor scanning quality, and the second major point is handwritten text that confuses the extractor, and the low confidence and OCR struggle. And sometimes model will identify the multiple values for the single field. So these are the main key points for the manual validation. So when it comes to manual validation, so here we can see the document and the fields that we have configured in the taxonomy. So we need to verify the details, and then we need to select, and then we need to correct if needed. So if everything is correct, then we can submit, and then it will process further. In case if this document is not relevant, then we can click on this report as exception. Then we can mention the reason why we are rejecting the invoice, and then we can confirm.
Okay, so manual review is such a necessary safety net, especially with business critical data. Now we know whenever we use Vue for processing any kind of document, the bot uses something called as AI unit. And this AI
Correct.
unit is more like a fuel to this framework, right? So the
Yes.
last thing that I'd like to ask you on this episode is um, how do we calculate the AI unit consumption, and are there any ways in which we can reduce the consumption of AI unit without actually affecting the overall efficiency of the model?
So the AI units consumption will happen in the multiple places. Like when you are creating the ML model in the AI center. So basically, we are training the documents in the document manager, right? So there we will going to use the preview button. So basically, that uses the ML model to identify the document information. When you click on the preview for each document, it will consume one AI unit. The second place, when you are creating the pipeline. So for pipeline creation, it will take hours of time. So here we have two types of deployment, like using the CPU and GPU. So if we are using the CPU, for every hour, it will consume 6 AI units. And if we are using the GPU, it will consume 20 AI units per hour. When it comes to classification, intelligent keyword based classifier, so 1 to 25 pages, it won't consume any AI units, but above the 25 pages, then it will consume AI units. And when it comes to extraction, if you are using the ML model, for each page, it will consume the one AI units.
Great. That's a really handy information, and thank you so much for this very knowledgeable podcast episode. I'm sure viewers will find it very helpful, and thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Nisarg.